Alright, so I've been grinding Forgotten Runiverse hardcore for about 2 days now, and I've got some tips that I think every player needs to know if they plan on grinding through this OBT. The Font of Memory is where players have the ability to spend mana in order to win awesome prizes like builders, crates, and land plots. Now, these are the big ticket items that many players are grinding for right now, but there's some factors here that might not jump out at you right at the start. For example, there's actually a pity system in place where you are guaranteed to win a land plot on your 250th roll of the Font of Memory. What's really interesting about this pity system is that it doesn't reset if you get lucky within that 250 rolls. If you get 2 or 3 land plots just through sheer luck within that 250, you are still going to get a land plot at 250 exactly. And even if you have the worst luck in the world, well, hey, you're still going to get rewarded for your dedicated efforts in the game. So how do you maximize your mana generation so you can get as many rolls as possible on the Font of Memory? Well, players get mana by burning their old unwanted items at the temple, but there is a trick here to maximize your mana generation so you're getting an extra boost every time you burn items. The secret is to wait. Don't burn any items until you have enough of them to completely fill up the box at the temple. And once you do, the mana multiplier will increase to 1.25, giving you a huge mana boost. Mana is extremely important, so you definitely don't want to be wasting any potential mana generation. Now let's talk about crafting armor and gear. A lot of players think once they get the recipe for an item and then craft the item, well then they're good to go. They've got the item and they can head back into battle. But what they might not realize is that when an item is crafted, its stats are totally randomized. It could be the best item ever made, or it could be really bad. Here, I've made 2 of the same item, so you can see the difference in stats between them. And if you look at the second one, you'll notice that the top stat has a gold border. That is to signify that that is the top value that this stat can possibly have. We've maxed out this stat. So for many players, the goal is to craft as many of an item as possible, equip the one that has the highest stats, and then burn the rest of them at the temple for some extra mana. Now, do keep in mind that the same mechanics do apply to spells and cantrips as well. When I craft a new spell, I usually make as many as I possibly can. That way, I can inspect the stats of each one and choose the best stats to add to my arsenal against the next enemy battle. One more very important aspect about crafting, and you don't want to miss this one. Anytime you craft an item that has all of its stats maxed out, you will automatically win a prize from the Font of Memory prize pool. You could get a land plot just from crafting. Now, the reason I find this so fascinating is because lower tier items, which are easier to craft, have far less stat attributes than higher tier items, which means they're far easier to max out and far easier to get some extra prizes while crafting. Certainly something to keep in mind, but that is the end of this video. Thank you for watching, good luck, and I'll see you around the Runiverse.